I didn't expect The Big Sick to be as bad as it was, because this has 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb across 147,000 reviews and ratings, and I do not understand that. So the point there is that I don't have a lot of praise for it, but it seems to appeal to some people, so check it out if you're curious, but I certainly don't recommend it. This was released in 2017. It's directed by Michael Showalter, written by Emily B. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani, and I apologise if I've mispronounced any of those names. And it stars Nanjiani as our protagonist, Kumail. We also have Zoe Kazan as Emily. And I feel bad for saying it's tremendously boring, because it is based on a true story. It is about our protagonist's relationship with dating a girl of a different race. And it is based on a true story, but it is incredibly boring. It's supposed to be a comedy as well, and it is not funny in the slightest. Again, comedy is subjective, so the comedy aspect might appeal to some people more than me, but I'm struggling to identify anything in this that's funny. There were a few small bits of dialogue here and there that were mildly amusing, but it's definitely more of a drama than a comedy. To me, the comedy is there to provide some light relief, because it's quite a heavy film, certainly as we get into the narrative. I don't want to say what happens, but something does happen that's, I guess, in theory quite dramatic, but the way it plays out is tremendously boring. So the comedy provides a little bit of light relief, but again, I didn't think it was particularly funny. In fact, I found it to be very, very dull, because even though in theory something dramatic happens to one of the characters, I won't spoil it in case you decide to watch it, it was so mundane, and the characters are largely unlikable. At least our protagonist's unlikable, and Emily, his girlfriend, is, again, not. I don't think she's unlikable, but I didn't care for her. I didn't find her to be interesting. I didn't think either of them were that interesting. I didn't care about their relationship. I didn't feel it was very believable. Again, if it's based, and not because of the interracial relationship, just in terms of the way they interacted with each other, it just felt really forced. It didn't feel very convincing. And again, if it's based on a true story, then I can't say it's not real, but it certainly didn't feel very convincing. So the story was very boring. It definitely isn't a funny film for me. The characters are kind of dull. I have to say, I did like Kumail's mother. I did love her character. I thought she was fabulous. And the reason I wanted to watch this is because of Ray Romano. He plays Emily's father, and his character was fine, but I can't exactly say, well, I didn't like the film, but at least I liked Romano's character. I wasn't not bothered about his character either. So the characters are largely dull, apart from, as I said, Kumail's mother. And she's played by Zenobia Shroff. I thought she was a really brilliant character, really the only thing in this that I genuinely enjoyed. And then we have the lighting. I'd say 50% of this film is in near darkness, and it's not necessary. For the bulk of it, it's absolutely not necessary. And I feel like it was a really poor decision. It's just really ugly to look at. The camera work's fine. The music's fine. The music was, I guess, fairly pleasant. Music is by Michael Andrews. But in general, I just don't think it has a lot to offer. And I feel bad for saying that, because it is based on a true story. But it's not interesting. It's not funny. I don't believe the characters' relationships. I guess I liked Ray Romano being in it, but as I said, his character wasn't anything that interesting. The only character I genuinely liked was Kumail's mother. The rest of it was not interesting in the slightest, so I'm really confused by that very high rating on IMDb. 7.5 is a phenomenal rating for IMDb. It also has a Metascore of 86, so it seems like a lot of people love it. I don't understand it. It's bland. It's not bad in the sense that it's a poor narrative or I don't believe it. I don't believe the relationship, but the story itself flows well enough. The pacing's okay. So it is, I guess, watchable, but it's certainly not an enjoyable experience. So it's not a good film. It's not a particularly interesting story. Most of the characters are boring. I certainly didn't find it funny. Again, comedy's subjective, so other people might prefer the comedy aspect, but apart from a few small things here and there, mostly from his mother, from Kumail's mother, I didn't find any of it to be funny. And the lighting was absolutely horrendous for about half the film. So there's not a lot I can praise. Very confused by that high rating. But if we all thought the same things about every film, life would be boring, I guess. Check it out if you're curious, but personally, I do not recommend it.